Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching WY TV. You're welcome to another edition of News Review today. And you know, I will do it on this show. This is where we talk about the headlines that made up the newspapers of today. I will talk about some of the headlines in detail. And we go on a short commercial break and we come back to talk more on it. And you know, you'll be wondering why it's only Sidon J been on the seat since yesterday. That was the reason why my guest, which is Ambassador, went on a short commercial break. He will soon be back. You guys just take a chill. He will join us very soon. Yes. So my name is Ahmed Abbas Olatuji. You can call me Sidon J, the only Idon on Wisdom Yard Television. You already know that. All right, you know I would do it. This is Punch newspaper. I'm starting with Punch newspaper this morning. Before that, let me tell you the sponsor for this show is Nokpa Abbas and Kim Victor Nigeria Enterprises. All right, on Punch newspaper today, Labour tackles Uzodinma. Governor says Ajaero meddling in politics. Naira gains as CBN pays bank $6.7 billion forex backlog. PTI final year students electrocuted while installing solar panels. Reps reallocate 5 billion naira yash votes. Navy clears Tinubu. Then on Vanguard newspaper, electricity. Policy flip-flop threatens $155 million smart meters project. CBN begins clearing forex forwards backlog. Israel says troops encircle Gaza City as a Blinken visits. Then on Daily Post newspaper, kidnappers of Bethel Baptist School students released last victim. NDLEA, winning war against drug trafficking is imperative. Marua. 2 injured as rival palm oil unions clash in Umaya. Oyo NLC TUC urge workers to shun work, attend Congress on Monday. These are some of the headlines that made up the newspapers of today. Then we go on a short commercial break. Now, when we come back, we'll talk more on some of the headlines. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere.
Nokpa for management of power.
Kim Victor Nigeria Enterprises say make I give una this informate una with the sell foodstuffs, with the sell noodles, with the sell oil, and one the major distributor Honeywell, Golden Penny, King's Oil, Gino, and so on and so forth. And vanilla that is shisodo wabai, you feed the collect market, they pay for ram small. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń bá wa dòwò àtàwọn oníbàárà wa náà jẹ́rìí sí wípé Kim Victor Nigeria Enterprises tested and trusted kò dẹ̀ sẹ́lẹ̀gbẹ́. Make una dey come to shop 2 Awolowo Market, Shagamu, Ogun State. As una dey buy una market, our motto don tanda gidigba to carry una load go una doorstep. And we no dey put extra charges. Kim Victor Nigeria Enterprises, fast and trusted.
You're welcome back from that short commercial break, and that's our sponsor, Nokpa Abbas and Kim Victor Nigeria Enterprises. And let me tell you this, in case you don't know, if you want to get your foodstuff, just go to shop 2 Awolowo Market, Shagamu, Ogun State. You get it there. Nokpa Abbas that produces Nokpa Abba Bitter, Abba Flusher, Abba Tonic. It's always available to flush all the dirt in your body. All right, let me start with this one. This headline: Ajaero in critical condition may be flown abroad, NLC. Well, let me say this. You know, yesterday I was here talking about how brutalized it was when the police arrested him at the protest ground at the Imo State Secretariat. That was day before yesterday. And I want to say, why is it that all these politicians or anybody working with the government once they have minor injuries or they feel they are feeling sick, the only thing they could do is to reason taking them to abroad. Well, I feel we have competent doctors in Nigeria, competent medical practitioners that could, do something to the health of Ajaero instead of planning to fly him over to abroad. Now, if you want to take him to abroad, to go less than, taking money out of the government pocket to support the movement to abroad for him to get a proper care. But I feel that we have competent doctors in Nigeria that could, check out what is going on with him. It's just a slap on his face if someone like Ajaero is saying he wants to go for medical attention in abroad. You know what? He's the chairman of the NLC, being the president, talking about Joe Ajaero. He should be able to know that he's the voice of the masses. Anything he says for the government workers, which is the Labour Congress, is the one in charge of everything. So someone like him planning to fly abroad just because he was being tortured by the police, brutalized. We have so many people police have brutalized in Nigeria that they don't even have the right for any medical attention from the government. But just because you are the NLC president, you feel just the little torture that you had on that day, you should be flown abroad because of your right eye that is not okay. So I don't know what I'm going to say on this again, but then to me, I don't feel it is okay for the federal government to support Ajaero going out of the country because he wants to have medical attention. Well, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) yesterday said the health condition of its president, Joe Ajaero, is very critical and may be flown abroad for full medical examination after he was seriously beaten, brutalized, and battered by alleged agents of the state, including policemen, on Wednesday in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Well, let me say this. Before the police came on board, at least there were hoodlums that came to the scene, and they collected their phones, ATMs, and all, and they didn't beat the president then. It was when they left. When Ajaero wanted to start, his speech, the policemen came around and they started beating him. So that led to his left eye, right eye being condemned through the beating. But I don't feel this should lead to him saying they should fly in abroad. If they should try and call some other doctors, to work hand in hand, I know there will be solution for his health status. But then, according to the body of the news, the suspected agent of the state and security operatives had descended on Ajaero alongside other Labour leaders, smashing their vehicles, inflicting injuries and dispossessing assets, money, ATMs, among other valuables from Labour leaders and others who had gathered at the NLC State Secretariat to begin scheduled protests over pending Labour issues. Now, when this hoodlum came, they didn't beat Ajaero because it was not, according to the news, it was not written that they touched Ajaero. The only thing they did was to collect all their valuables, spoiling their vehicles and all. But then it was now the police force of Nigeria that came around that was supposed to, guide them and protect the NLC president, which is Joe Ajaero, that now, brutalized Ajaero. So there's something, there's a plot about this whole issue, because I don't know, maybe they were being sent by the federal government or maybe the state government or something, I don't know. But then that was what the news states. I'm still looking at the news, how it connects with the fact that Ajaero's health is being pushed on the police force, not the hoodlums. Well, the NLC president, other national leaders of NLC and their Trade Union Congress of Nigeria (TUC) counterpart were at the state secretariat in Owerri to protest, among other grievances, backlog of unpaid salaries and allowances, pension, gratuities, and non-compliance with National Minimum Wage Act. After his release from police abduction on Wednesday night, Ajaero, who looked very weak, was wearing a neck collar with wheal all over his skin and was referred to of ophthalmic. You know all these government official bodies. I don't know, they'll just bring up one disease or one grammar that we don't even understand, just for them to back up what is going on with them, so as to fast forward they are traveling out of the country. But then with this ophthalmic investigation, a head brain scan, a full body scan, and cervic spine therapy, among other investigations, I want to ask this question: is it only Ajaero that was being tortured by the police at the scene? Because now he's the only one trying to be flown abroad and trying to be taken care of in the hospital. What of other officials in NLC? Because now we are not asking this question. Or let's just say he was being targeted, it was just their target, talking about the police force that, brutalized Ajaero. That's the question. Only Ajaero is in this news. Like his name was the only name being mentioned on the news that he was being beaten, he was being this, he was being that. What of other officials of the NLC? Or maybe they said they shouldn't speak, I don't know. Because now he's the one being flown to abroad. Now that like they're still on it. I don't know if the federal government is going to approve this taking him from Nigeria to abroad. Because I don't know what is it that they want to do. They're talking about the head brain scan, a full body scan, and cervical spine therapy, among other investigations. They're still under investigations. So which means he's paralyzed or what? Because I don't get. Maybe Ajaero is being paralyzed or I don't know. Because the news we got yesterday was that it was being the right eye was being affected through the beating, but now it has affected the whole of the body. That made the news to say he's going to be having head brain scan, a full body scan, and cervical spine therapy. Well, speaking on the health condition of the NLC president, an assistant general secretary of the NLC Chief of Staff of NLC President Chris Onyeka lamented that his situation has worsened and could hardly talk, saying he almost passed out last night. Wow, I don't really know what's going on in this country. They are just trying to play us around. Maybe they think we don't know what is going on. The plot is something that the federal government needs to sit down and look at it very well, because if you check, now the citizens are not even supporting Ajaero, because now it has been said that it seems Ajaero is working with some people in the federal level. Some said Ajaero has been corrupted, that is why he's not working as the real president of the NLC, that the aluta in him has dropped, he's not acting effectively. Well, according to him, the Congress president is in a very critical condition. He's so weak and can hardly talk. He almost passed out last night. The Congress is considering flying him abroad for full medication examination. Now, I want to say this. If this happened to an ordinary Nigerian, like just a normal Nigerian, I know the federal government will just, put him in one hospital, or even not take care of him. Will be the one to take care of him, his or herself. Not because he is a Nigerian NLC national and the Nigerian Labour Congress president. So they need to fly him abroad because he wants to be taken care of. This is not supposed to be like this, because even him is supporting the fact that he was being brutalized by the police, and they are not talking about anybody is not talking about the police that got him beaten to that extent. But the only thing now is they want to fly him abroad just for him to have good medical attention. So in Nigeria, we don't have good hospital that Ajaero could stay and could be taken care of. Not until they fly him to abroad. I don't know what is going on with the system of our Nigerian government, but then there is high apprehension and fear that he might have injected with substance. Well, like you may have seen, he was brutally beaten, brutalized, and battered, in addition to confiscating his phones, monies, and other personal belongings. We have suspended the action in Imo State because besides the president, other labor leaders suffered similar fate. They need to take care of themselves and recover from injuries inflicted on them by agents of the state government, including operatives of the Imo State Police Command. Now, I think that there is no respect to the citizens from the police, because I learned they say police is your friend, but now police is affecting us in different manners. You could remember what happened in River State. I said it yesterday. The River State Governor Siminalai Fubara was saying he was being shot by the police. The bullet was thrown directly to his face, that they wanted to shoot him, not only tear gassing, but there was a lot of shooting that particular morning that he went to the complex and National Assembly in Port Harcourt. Now, what is the problem with Nigerian police force? Because now you didn't come to the scene when the hoodlums came to collect their phones and all. You came after and you started beating the NLC leaders. That is too bad. I feel there must be immunity on some government official, because so far he is NLC president, at least he is a government official. and is the one fighting for the citizens to the government. So I don't know why the government are not doing the right thing. They are supposed to summon the police command in Imo State for this act, because this is an evil act, beating the NLC president mercilessly and having him, admitted in the hospital. Not only him, but other NLC officials. So I feel federal government should try and do something about this incident. Well, let's move on to the next headline here, talking about kidnappers of Bethel Baptist School students that was being released yesterday. So the last victim of the kidnappers that kidnappers took from Bethel Baptist School, it was being released yesterday, according to news. The last victim of Bethel High School pupil kidnapped in Kaduna, Treasure Ayuba, has been released. On July 5, gunmen invaded the school in Damishi, Kaduna, and abducted 121 students. While others were released, Ayuba was the last victim to regain his freedom. And now I want to say this, although they released the rest, but then why did they have to hold down that little boy, that Ayuba? There must be something hidden about this boy. Maybe they feel they could get more money, the ransom from this boy's parent, because maybe the boy is a son of an influential person in the society. I don't know why this kidnapping and abducting is still rampant in the northern part of Nigeria. I thought maybe when the president chose Shettima as his vice during the time of election, I felt maybe Shettima is going to curb all the things going on in the north, talking about the kidnapping, bombing, and all. But then it's getting worse. I don't know the work of the vice president. I don't know what he's trying to do on the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria. But then thank God that he has been released. Talking about Treasure Ayuba. While others were released, Ayuba was the last victim to regain his freedom. The Nigerian Baptist Convention, NBC, confirmed Ayuba's release yesterday night. The NBC president, Reverend Israel Akonji, confirmed his release in a statement. He said, "Glory be to God, glory be to God. Treasure Ayuba, the last boy, was still with the bandits who kidnapped the 121 students of Bethel Baptist High School, Kaduna, on July 5, 2021. Has just returned home today, November 2nd, 2023. That was this statement of the president of the NBC, that is Reverend Israel Akonji. And the further man to say, thanks be to our unfailing God. Thank you also very much for your prayers and numerous support. Now, the lives of these kids are important. So the federal government should try and provide more security to every other part of the state in Nigeria, not only the northern part, even the southeast, south, and the southwest. They need more security, trying to, balance as you're trying to balance the economy, you should balance the security aspects too, because now it was being learned that in the northern part of Nigeria, some farmers could not go to their farms again because they were being kidnapped by bandits, by gunmen from their farms. So which means they don't even have access to what they are using as their day-to-day activities just to put food on their table for the family. They can't go to the farm again because of kidnappers. So we need more hands on deck talking about the aspect of security in Nigeria. So this is a direct speech to the president of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, and all his ministers, all the FCE, everybody in the federal level. They should try and work together to make sure the security agencies in Nigeria are functioning the way they're supposed to function. But let's move on to the next one, talking about the two injured rivals of palm oil unions that clashed in Umuahia. Two rival market unions have clashed at Umopara Palm Oil Beach Market in Umuahia South local government area of Abia State, while leaving two persons critically injured and hospitalized at the Federal Medical Center, FMC, Umuahia. The two rival groups, Palm Oil Association of Nigeria and United Palm Oil Dealers Association, have been battling for the leadership of the market, as well as who should control the market's revenue collection since August 2023. God of mercy. This thing is very simple. Okay, we have two bodies that is, taking control of the market. So you need to come to a conclusion. Maybe you're going to be doing the revenue 50-50. That is just the way it could be. But then a body trying to be like, okay, we are the one that is supposed to take care of the affairs of the revenue of this market. It will lead to something else, and that is what is happening now. Yes, the Association of Nigeria United and the Association of Nigeria Palm Oil Association of Nigeria, PAN, yes, Palm Oil Association of Nigeria, PAN, and United Palm Oil Dealers Association. There are two bodies entirely. So I feel they should try and come to a sit in the round table and come to a conclusion how they are going to be dealing with the revenue that has been made in the market, because I know money will always cause trouble amongst Igbo people. I'm not trying to say that, because I know that in Igbo land, what they love most is business. You know, when it comes to business and making money, you know, you talk about the East, the people staying in the eastern part of Nigeria. And that is what is going on here. But all hell broke loose on Thursday when the two rivals associations engaged each other in a violent clash, which landed 3 members of United Palm Dealers Association in hospital, with 2 of them in critical state. Can you imagine? So what is the government doing on this? I feel this is still part of what I'm talking about on insecurity in Nigeria. Because these people that are supposed to guide, that are supposed to, you know, settle things amicably between the two bodies, they are the one bringing up another issues. Because now, if you bring the police on this matter now, what they are going to do is they will be looking for a way to extort from these bodies. That is the problem of Nigerian police. When you lodge a complaint to Nigerian police, before you know, they will see you are the complainant, and they will see you as the offender. Before you know it, they will start extorting money from both parties. So now, but what I'm trying to say is that the government of the state government of Abia State, they should try and look into this matter before it escalated to something more bigger than this. Well, the name of those in critical conditions are Kingsley Onyemuche and Peter Anyanwu, while the next injured trader is Monday Ogunka. While Kingsley Onyemuche and Peter Anyanwu were admitted at the casualty and emergency ward of the FMC Umaya because of the seriousness of their situation, Monday Ogunka was admitted to another department, and his own injury was said to be minimal. Those in critical conditions are kept on the floor of the hospital because of lack of bed space and infused with drugs to stabilize them. Can you imagine? A whole FMC, a whole hospital that is being owned by the government of Nigeria, no space, no bed space. This is what we are talking about. Now, if you want to say it, educational sector, nothing. In the economic sector, nothing. Every sector in Nigeria has been corrupted. Even the medical sector, there's no space, or there's no bed space for patients, emergency patients, for crying out loud. What is the government doing about this? Then why won't our doctors, why won't they jackpot to another country? Because the jackpot syndrome is growing every day, we know that. It was because there is not good facilities in the hospital for them to work. Just imagine a patient sleeping, lying on the floor because there is no bed space. Why do we have a commissioner for health and all? And you know, some things, sometimes things like this made me go angry on the federal government of Nigeria. You know, even if the federal government is working from the top, why don't they checkmate every other thing that was being aligned for this state government? They will check. They need to check and see the condition of every state, so as for them to, any other thing that is needed in that state, they will try and provide. Just imagine what is going on in Umaya now, with the fact that they have emergencies of many people that was being injured from the clash. There was no bed space, so they had to put them on the floor, sleeping on the floor, and treating them there. Even without you being sick or having any injury, if you sleep on the floor, you won't enjoy yourself because your back will ache and all. Not to talk of you being injured or sick. That's too bad. So I feel the state government in Abia State, they should try and do something. The Abia State government, they should do something about this. Well, Daily Post gathered that the trouble started in the market on Thursday, that was yesterday afternoon, when the two groups contested who should collect revenue from Jos Plateau State-bound truck loaded in oil market with palm oil. While one group said it was its right to collect the revenue, another group said it should collect the money and mobilize its men to lock the gate of the market so as to prevent the loaded truck from leaving the market. But according to an eyewitness who pleaded anonymity, a group of thugs allegedly mobilized by one Chima Ukaegbu, the interim chairman of the market, arrived at the scene and descended on the members of the United Palm Oil Dealers Association, beating and kicking them mercilessly. The eyewitness, who claimed that the interim chairman is a relative of a top official of Abia State government. I knew it. I wanted to say it, you know. Every other part in Nigeria has been corrupted. Even in the market, they still practice politics in the market. You know, market that you are seeing yourself every day, you know, that is where you guys are making money day to day, and you still see yourself as enemies. Things that you're supposed to sit down and talk about amicably, you know, try to make peace. You are dragging yourself. Some of them will be saying, hey, do you know me? Do you know my uncle? Do you know this? That's when they will start talking about their boss at the top, their guy at the top, which is not supposed to be like that. Well, according to the eyewitness, he said the chairman is a relative of a top official of Abia State government, added that the invading thugs beat 3 members of their rival to coma, resulting in 2 of them losing consciousness on the spot before being rushed to the FMC in Abia State. Government, please do something about the insecurity amongst our people in Nigeria. You know, some people put laws into their hands even without even checking anything. They feel like they are the boss in this area, so they can do anything. So I want to urge the 2 bodies talking about the United Palm Oil Dealers and the second body, which is talking about the Palm Oil Association of Nigeria, the PAN. They should try and sit down and talk about this. They should talk it out so as to have peace, so as for peace to reign in that market. Not only in Abia State, but in every other state that has been planning things like this. Because if everything happens, you die, and once you are dead, government will not do anything. That is just it. Because in Nigeria, there is no justice for anything. Yes, we don't have justice in Nigeria. So whatever you are doing, try to make peace, because the federal governments are not going to do anything until when it escalated to be more bigger than the way you can imagine. All right, this is where we are going to be ending it on the show today. Don't forget that the sponsor for this show is Nokpa Abbas and King Victor Nigeria Enterprises. And big shout out to the CEO of Wisdom Yard Nigeria Limited, talking about Prince Omoba Adeleke Nua Oshe. Thank you so much for always being there for us, and to all our viewers all around the world, thank you so much for always joining us. You know, even with the fact that there is hardship in Nigeria, you still try and take money from your pocket to, you know, do subscription on your phone, just for you to watch our shows. God bless you, and God bless your pocket. That's the only prayer I could do this time. My name is Ahmed Abbas Olatunji, but you can call me Sidon J. And I'll see you next time. That will be next week on Monday. Be good and enjoy your weekend. Bye.